This fellow was in charge of Operation Warp Speed, that in this Democrats' opinion was the most successful thing Donald Trump probably did in his first presidency. That means that this is not some left-wing conspiracy theorist. He's somebody who helped Donald Trump do the most successful things in many people's, and probably save millions of lives. Again, a Democrat saying that because of what they just did. So I think that that's important as y'all argue about if it was wrong or right.
He also was willing to put together studies that would focus on what RFK Jr. essentially was saying, that vaccines need to be studied more. He was willing to put those studies together to make sure that real information came out, that transparency came out, to hopefully say, you know, Mr. Secretary, this is now what we know. Let's put this aside and let's push for vaccines because we know that's what the case is. Clearly, that didn't happen. And it seems from the reporting that he was given either the choice to resign or he was going to be fired.
That's right.
So he was pushed out. Because clearly he was not acquiescing to these crazy views of RFK Jr. So good for him and good for telling it all in this searing, brutal letter. Because yes, RFK Jr. and the Trump administration are putting public health at risk.
Look, I'm very skeptical of RFK. I feel he is on the right track when it comes to America needing to be healthier. And I know that because I can afford to lose a couple pounds. All the folks who tweet at me when I'm on the show tell me that too.
Well, they should mind their business, but
yeah,
go ahead.
They should, but they do. I'm with them on that. But when it comes to vaccines, RFK Jr. is completely off the reservation, entirely off the reservation. Having said that, I do not view doing this as a courageous act. When you resign, you are a borderline coward. If you actually believe in what you're saying, some harshly worded letter, that's what the United Nations does. It means absolutely nothing. It's just a bunch of words on paper.
I get what it means. I get what it means.
I think it has weight. He was going to get booted. So you think that he should just have been fired?
Yeah, if you really truly believe,
but what's the difference?
Then get fired. Then stand up for something.
I think he is standing up.
When somebody does resign, I mean, obviously he was going to get fired. Our reporting is that he was going to get fired or he had the choice to resign. He resigned. But when somebody leaves a position like that, there may be an argument to say, well, when he leaves, someone else replaces him that does not have his credentials and that does not have his same stance. So is that good for example, the organization that he is overseeing?
And that's Pete's point. Like, stand up for it, stay in that position. Even if you're pushed out eventually, at least we have a voice of reason within the organization. This is very personal to me about RFK because I have a daughter who's on the spectrum. I have an atypical daughter and I have a typical daughter. And I know vaccines don't cause autism. And my co-host, Nick Saveri, I want to shout him out from Can We Please Talk? New episodes every Monday. Nick's wife is an pediatric ICU doctor at St. Luke's Hospital in Pennsylvania. So this is very personal to us as a show. I've done a lot about RFK's confirmation and, you know, again, no degree in epidemiology, molecular biology, virology. Few doctors have that. So what do? They put together boards, advisory boards, that make public recommendations. This person was an environmental lawyer. You want to put him in charge of the EPA? Put him in charge of the EPA. Exactly. Putting him in charge of the health and human services in this country, in my opinion, is not putting people in the best positions to succeed. Kudos to this guy for writing the letter. I get Pete's overarching point, and I do agree. Stay because you could be the voice of reason within that. And to Chuck's point, and I love that he said that. I'm going to echo it 5 more times. Operation Warp Speed, say it alive. Chuck is really smart. I think the hack makes him 10 times smarter. But seriously, the fact that this is the compromise that you guys are looking for, right? Donald Trump says, hey, Democrats, you got to compromise. He just gave credit to somebody who helped with Operation Warp Speed. And this guy is telling you that RFK is not qualified to lead this agency.